Well, hello there. Is it working? Yeah, seems to be working. So, we were talking about recording guitars the other day, and I thought I'd build a guitar tone with you. Kind of already built it. But, what we have here is a capture that I found of a 5153. Don't worry about that. 5153 EL34. Can't remember who it's by. Doesn't fucking matter, because I'll probably delete it anyways, because that's the Quad Cortex ecosystem in a nutshell. So this is currently set up just for recording. If I wanted to, I can move this. Well, no, I'd have to do some moving around. That's not important. What is important is this is what I just built this. I'm just playing around. Every chance I get, I just build a new tone. I have tons and tons and tons of tones. Like just, I fiddle. So this 5153, I'm just trying some new captures that I found. And then this guy, don't worry about that guy. Don't worry about that guy. But got a noise gate. And then I have an EQ going in front of just a basic, EV straight G12s. A little spread out as far as position. And then this one is a little tighter just on the one position, not using the second microphone. This one's a Ribbon 121. This is Dynamic 57s. And it gets you a little bit of everything. Honestly though, I'd probably get rid of one of these if I was really getting into it. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll use an IR. Anyways, at the end of this I have was the Nolly EQ chain somebody captured. And I just did a couple little fiddles to it. But without getting too wild, we'll add an overdrive, and I'll show you why. I'm going to add an overdrive. We'll just pick an 808. So say this is for no motive. So no motive is pretty specific. It's drop G. It's not bad. It's a pretty standard tone. Maybe pull back a little bit. Yeah, it's still a little too loose. For a rhythm tone, you can pull just a hair back more. Yeah, and just like that, you've sort of got a basic rhythm tone. And generally what I do when I build out scenes, or when I build something for the Quad Cortex for this band, I put things on stomps. So this would be, we'll put it on E, and then our other friend will also put on E. So right now, it's set up to where this is on, this is off. Oh, that EQ is also on it. We don't need that where we're going. So, it's fine. It's a fine tone. But the reason I do this, and I want to get into specifically when you're recording and you're in front of monitors, even if you're recording with the monitors louder than all fuck, your guitar's not going to respond the way it is when you're in front of a cabinet at a show or a practice way louder. This tone will not function the way it is now at a show. And the reason for that is your guitar is going to resonate because it's louder than fuck. So in that situation, I generally will build two of everything. So I will have two presets for every kind of sound that I like. In this situation, say I was going to use this live, this gain would come down, this level would come down. And then I'd also ride my volume for parts that are like dead stops. And the reason for that is because if not, it's going to start ringing back and being wild. And I am a big fan of dead stops in songs. So, with that said, we'll turn this back up just a hair. Because we can. We'll say this is for recording. We can lie to ourselves. Granted, if it was live, I'd have it split out for no DI. So, we'll switch. This is the real core of every no motive riff. Which is the Octavix, which is a fuzz, but if you listen to it by itself, it does something really woofy in the mid-range, and that translates really well through an amp. You can hear how hard it's hitting that mid-range specifically. Now, if we move this, and we get ourselves an EQ, doesn't really matter which one, but we'll pull a little bit of the high ends down, and we're gonna go around probably around like 1,000 hertz, maybe a little higher. And we'll adjust the Q, make it pretty tight, and we're gonna just boost the pure piss out of it, 12 decibels. See how it starts to get crazy? But once you find the sweet spot and you can do sweeps, if somebody was palm muting for you, you could find it a lot quicker. You can start getting some of that. You can start getting some of that pick attack back. It's just finding the right. Now we'll turn it off. Now, of course, this will affect your gain staging, so you can go ahead and bring that output down. Suddenly you have just a fucking grease pit of a tone. And if you want to do the knock loose thing, you can go ahead and add any chorus. Suddenly, it's awful spicy in here. You should probably take some Tums. I'm running out of room because this is not organized in a nice fashion the way I normally would. But we'll just put the noise gate on the end, turn this off. And then we'll add one more little friend. So we're going to add the love meat. And you just turn everything up. Just fucking turn everything up. And let it fucking just be crazy. Or we could do the Fugue. Very handy stuff. Or, you know, that's one thing that I use a lot, and I can show you the actual no motive layout. But I think another fun one is, of course, if you have room, you can do a freeze or a bit crusher. Personally, a big fan of. I'm so sleepy. Personally, a big fan. Where is it? The monosynth. You turn off the first oscillation, or the second oscillation. Turn this all the way down. We're starting to get so bit crushed that it starts to sound like the PlayStation 1 intro. But we're going to turn the mix down, sensitivity up, turn the gate off, turn the glide up, maybe a little more mix. What's cool about adding the insanely sub frequency is that it doesn't do a great job of tracking. So like, you hear it start to. Which I use this as like a momentary switch. It's currently not set up in my normal patch, but it's great for a momentary switch when you need just that little bit more beef to damage someone else's guitar cabinet. Don't ever let me use your guitar cabinets. I'm sorry. I put way too much of the fucking fucking beef in my tone. You might get fucking screwworms in that cocksucker. But when you got that big part where everything stops and everybody's talking shit into microphones, okay, motherfuckers, are you? Let's see it, and then crack. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, right off the bat, if you want to get like a good two-step going, you can turn all this shit off. So like I said, we'll press E. It'll go back to our regular tone. We can assign our course effect to a switch. We can turn that off. I don't know why that cab's set to 1. But we'll turn that off. And we go back to... for the faster parts. But when it's time to bring the onions, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you though. I just keep it on the greasy one. If I'm being real. We'll go up Piss Boner. Piss Boner is the current no motive setup. Pretty gross. And it's set up in the same way. So if I pull up my scene, we've got our solo, which turns off the gate, and yes, there's a piss ton of gain, so it's pretty noisy. Then we got our filters. Then we got our chainsaw. So this is my standard tone. And then you turn on chainsaw. got your momentary for the whammy. So I have my quad on the table, but you get it. You see what I'm saying? And then I got a looper, just because maybe I want to fucking have something looping between songs. But since we're on Rails now, there really is an opportunity to do that. Currently, I have 2 cabs set up, but this isn't. No, it's set up. This is set up right. I'm sorry. So the way this is set up is I've got noise gate. I think I have a pre-noise gate too. No, looper before everything, because I wanted to have just a clean capture of whatever weird shit, which I can show you. Usually what I use it for. Right, you get it. You can do weird shit with it. We got it. So before everything else, I have this really fucking crazy EQ, which I think is tied. Nope, that's always on. Which is right around 2500 hertz, and then a bump around 900 hertz. And what I'm trying to do is get that cocked wall effect, but also keep some of the grease as it hits my basic ass overdrive for the solos. It's only for solos. And then the Foog, which is just sent to full grease. The whammy, which is just the momentary. The dream chorus, which is just set alongside the Foog. And then I've got the swollen pickle, which I use on fucking everything. That's my basic tone. And then the Octavix is when the shit has hit the fan. And then that EQ, I think, is tied to the swollen pickle. And then all of that is in a Frankenstein, which has been fucking awesome. And then into just a basic cab. But this actually should be here. Fixed. Problem solved before it happened. So this is split to where cab, my reverb for solos, this SSL capture that someone did, and then another basic EQ that's bringing some beef back that I lost along the way, and then out, this is my out that goes into our ears, and then for when I'm recording and fiddling around, and then split after the amp is another reverb for when we're doing a little solo, that same setup as the other one, which this is going to get adjusted between cabinets. The reason I have this is because I keep this always on something because it sounds good. It's like a good bass line. It works great for recording. It works great feeding into a cab. And then I use this last EQ as my final approach to whatever backline cab. And if it's a little cabinet that just ain't happy with me, is not impressed with with what I'm trying to do, and I start cutting fucking low end. But all in all, or like, if it's an orange cab, then I have to fucking turn all this crazy high, because if not, it sounds super dark. It's a balance, and you can only figure this out when you're playing loud as fuck. You cannot play in a room in front of a cabinet at a low volume and set your EQs and go, yep, that's probably going to work for fucking everything, because it won't. You have to do this in a loud room, walk away from the fucking cabinet, and just listen in the room and go, damn, that is harsh, or fuck, that's super dark, or oh my god, this backline cab is about to die if I don't turn my fucking low pass up. These are things you have to learn loud. It's like I was saying, if you're recording in a room in front of monitors, your guitar is not going to resonate the same as when you're in front of a loud cab. So you will modulate your gain settings and your gain structure accordingly to where you get that same effect live without it constantly being a fight, a feedback, and having to do the knob dance because you're crushing the gain. Though I have gotten really comfortable with riding my guitar volume, because there are still situations where I want it a bit tighter, but I don't really want that noise gate to be clamped down 24/7, because sometimes noise is good. So it's a balance, but you have to do this shit loud, you have to do it live, and you have to be ready to do your adjustments. And remember that this EQ can be modulated at any time. And shit, brother, if you really needed to, you could do a copy of this motherfucker and have a couple of them. Because realistically, I mean, shit, we're only at 52% CPU with all this shit. But, like, you could name these and say, like, you could assign them, like the other stomps, to where, like, okay, this one we'll assign to B, and then we can go to gig view, and we'll know that B, orange cab, and this will disable, we'll make sure all these are off, and then this one we can assign to C and say bad Marshall cab, because you get some bad ones on backline, that happens. And then this one is on D, and say it is Mesa 4x12, and we're happy. So we can feed we know this one, we can feed the fucking onions. We can get a little sauce here. We can, fucking, we'll really let her eat. Watch them woofers fucking dance. Don't let me use your cabinet. I'm sorry. I'll do my best not to kill your cabinet, but god damn, I love to feed And this, you think this is bad? The second guitar track that's being pumped through a power amp into your cabinet with no IR? Yeah, it's just as spicy, brother. It's this, but, it's this. So also, while we're here, I will specify that the other benefit to doing it like this in the Quad Cortex is output 1 is recording with an IR. I think I have a custom IR. No? Yep, just some capture that I found. But output 1 is with a cabinet, and output 3, which is a 1/4 inch, it is without an IR, so you can send that straight into the interface as well. And this makes it really easy to record your second guitar if you're on rails and you track your second guitar. So that way, in your ears, you have your IR, and the second output is your non-IR version, and you can send that out to a power amp, to a cabinet, and everybody wins, and everything will be the same volume, because then you're also using this live for your main guitar that's live. It's crazy, but it makes sense. But then you have all your shit set up, and everybody's happy, and you don't have to check volumes 200,000 times. You just got to make sure that your output on the interface where you're sending from is at 0, or is gain staged. Can I talk about anything else? Have I made sense? I don't know. I'm going to edit this down a little bit and then I'm going to post it.